Have you ever dreamt of creating or joining a sovereign eco-village in Australia where you get to grow your own food, live off-grid and make your own rules without interference from the government and its councils? Well, here's the truth. You can actually do it lawfully and legally if you set it up right. Let me break down how it works in simple terms. First, we're not going rogue, we're not rebelling, and we're not relying on fringe legal theories. What we're doing is using private contract law, trust law, and association law, which are all recognised and valid within the Australian common law and commercial law systems. Here's the basic framework. The land is held in a private trust. A private express trust is a lawful structure that lets you hold land privately outside your personal name and or company name. That means the land is protected from claims, government interference, or even individual disputes because it's not owned by you personally, it's held in a trust. This is legal in Australia. Trusts are recognised in the Trust Act in every single state, and you have the right to form one without registration as long as it's created privately between living people with clear intent. The trust sets the rules for the land, and it can be, say, for instance, that there are no chemicals to be used, or that it must be vegan land, or that it needs to be passed down to future generations. Now, the second part is the PMA, the Private Members Association. It is where all the agreements between people are handled. When someone joins the Eco Village, they sign a private members agreement. That agreement covers things like how the land is shared, what values are expected, like non-violence or animals or off-grid living, or what type of homes they put on it, the small homes, or whether they're domes or caravans. What happens if someone wants to leave, for instance, or how they handle disputes, and even how the decisions of the community work. Because it's all private, based on consent and contract, public authorities don't have jurisdiction over what happens inside unless you're breaking actual laws, like harming each other, for instance. This model is legal and it's lawful in Australia, and it has been used for years by churches, clubs, private schools, and even medical groups to operate privately under contract. This exact framework is already working for the CVA, the Conscious Living Village Association, who are operating under its own bylaws, membership tiers, and parallel economy framework. Let's be clear. Sovereignty in this context doesn't mean lawless or anti-government. It means we're choosing to operate in the private domain, which we have the lawful right to do under common law. We still respect other people, we still follow real laws that protect life and property, but we do not need to consent to commercial rules, commercial council codes, or regulations that don't apply to the public, who only apply, to the public domain, because we're not operating there, we're operating in the private. I'm currently setting this up for myself. We're forming a private trust to buy some rural land here in Australia and creating a PMA to manage how we live together. Each of us will co-invest and have our own private space that will share things like the food forest or a tool shed, maybe some water infrastructure and some common areas. It's going to be vegan, it's going to be peaceful, and it's going to be lawful. We already have multiple people who are willing to co-invest to purchase the land, and we're building it from the ground up with a lawful structure that protects everyone involved. If you're interested, please, by all means, click on my bio and fill out the expression of interests. I'll be vetting both investors for those who would like to, say, come and contribute, or those who would just like to live there via donation or contribution. And we're not rebelling against the system or relying on some fantasy law. Everything that we're doing, from the private trust to the PMA to the off-grid lifestyle, is fully lawful in Australia. We've done our research, worked with some experienced lawful advisors, and we're not here to argue with anyone. We're here to build something peaceful, private, and real, and we welcome anyone who wants to learn more about that. If you would like to know more about it, I am going to create a lawful guide to doing something similar if you would like to do it on your own, and I'll post that on my bio too in the future. I haven't done it yet, I'm busy. But I would really love to see other people creating these types of sovereign communities where we can honestly just live freely, because it's what we deserve. Big love.